What's going on, horror fans, and welcome back to another Halloween review. If you guys are new here, feel free to click that subscribe button and that bell notification icon for more reviews, reactions, rankings, and more movie content. Welcome to the fourth review in my Halloween series for 2019. I've had a fun time just watching non-stop horror movies these past few weeks. Love exploring John Carpenter's The Thing, The Exorcist, and last week was Trick or Treat, so go check that out right there. And now today, guys, I'm going into found footage and talking about The Blair Witch Project, which came out in 1999, and this movie exploded when it came out into theaters. The film is directed by Daniel Myrick and Eduardo Sanchez, and the film tells the story of these young college filmmakers, Heather, Josh, and Mike. They're going to see if this Blair Witch figure is real. They interview people in the town about the Blair Witch, if it's real or not, and they tell them stories, really creepy stories about kids going missing. And so they go out into the woods and they get lost. The Blair Witch Project is one of those films that at first sounds very mysterious, and I've always wondered about this film for years. 1999 was a great year for cinema. The Sixth Sense, The Matrix, Phantom Menace, but then a film like The Blair Witch Project comes out, and a bunch of people went to go see it back in the day, and they were terrified of this movie. I mean, the marketing for this movie is one of the best of all time. That's one of the praises which we'll get into. They really marketed this movie like it was a real event, like the Blair Witch Project, about these three kids, three filmmakers going out into a woods trying to find a frickin' witch. I gotta say, this movie was really well made when it comes to marketing, acting, direction. Like, this movie's absolutely fantastic for what it did. And yes, we did get two sequels, Book of Shadows and the Blair Witch 2016 movie. And I really didn't like the 2016 film, haven't seen Book of Shadows yet. And yes, this was the film that really kickstarted off the found footage genre style of horror filmmaking. And yes, we've had many other films try to do this style, like Paranormal Activity, and really it didn't feel as successful as the Blair Witch Project. And I'll tell you why I think this movie was so inspiring. I think the performances really sell this movie and why it makes it work 20 years later. I mean, these actors, Heather, Josh, and Mike, all three are really great in this movie because it feels real, like it's happening. And yes, it is filmed with terrible camera quality, but it really is the performances driven by these three actors. They feel like they're lost in the middle of nowhere. No one can come save them. And they just have to rely on each other, and nature is coming back hard on them. There's always the saying that nature is not your friend, and it really is throughout this whole movie. And a fun fact, I was really reading the behind the scenes of this movie that all the filming for this movie was real. All of these actors were filming off the cuff. The directors didn't even tell them that the Blair Witch myth was fake. And all the acting you see in the film is real. And the cinematography just for this movie alone, yes, the camera quality is awful, but it's realistic. All the camera shots you see are terrifying. They really do mean something. When they discover things about the movie, they're discovering it like it's happened before, and they don't know how to react to it. When they see the rocks outside of their tent, they're like, did we just see these rocks like, I don't know, 5 minutes from us, and now why are they out front of our tent? And now we're seeing these giant stick figures, and it's like, what is going on here? And then their buddy Josh goes missing. They're like, okay, he probably escaped us. It's, again, the unknown of what's going on, that the Blair Witch is really inside their heads all along. It's this powerful, ghostly figure that you have no idea where it's going to be or when it's going to show itself. This is true horror. If you don't see anything, then that is terrifying. And that is the scariest part about this movie, is that you don't see the Blair Witch at all. And some people may be disappointed by that. They wanted to see the actual creature. And I think This is how horror filmmaking is done. The Blair Witch has pit our three main characters against each other. They are bickering and fighting with each other back and forth, screaming their heads off. They have no idea where they are. Some lies are being thrown out. That's one of the Blair Witch's biggest abilities. They've tore our three characters against each other and making them just feel vulnerable to the point of death. And it is terrifying. I mean, the final 5 minutes of the movie get really there once the Blair Witch does kill our three main characters and the camera is just falling on the ground and just sitting there, and it's like, really great. I really love this movie. It's a big reason why this started off the found footage genre, because it spawned so many others after it, franchises included, and none of them have topped the Blair Witch Project. And this movie is the king for that. On my rating scale, I'm going to give the Blair Witch Project a 5 out of 5 stars. There you have it, guys. That is my thoughts on the Blair Witch Project. Have you guys seen the Blair Witch Project, and what are your thoughts on it? Do you absolutely love it? Do you think it's okay, or do you absolutely hate it? Let's talk about it down below. One more review left to go, guys, in my Halloween series of reviews, and that is for Alfred Hitchcock's classic, Psycho. Look forward to that on Halloween week next week. Thank you guys, as always, for watching this review. All of my social media links are in the description below, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!